Hello, book buds, and welcome back. Today is Wednesday. Yes, today is Wednesday. Welcome back. Every single day this week, I am coming out with all of the new releases for books for 2022 that you should keep an eye out for. So, handy dandy laptop. We've got our handy dandy helper here. We're gonna see if he's good or if he behaves or not, but hopefully he just lays down and hangs out with us today. So I wanted to start off with my first book being Book Lovers by Emily Henry. And Emily Henry also wrote Beach Read and The People We Meet on Vacation, and I haven't read either of those yet. Both of them are on my January TBR. I'm going to buddy read Beach Read with my friend Chalk, and I'm very excited about that. And then I'm reading The People We Meet on Vacation when I go on vacation, which I will talk about in a little bit. But so I've heard her other books are very, very good. I'm excited about this one. This one's Book Lovers, and it is an enemies to lovers book. It's got a lot of banter. It's a character-driven plot, and like basically one person runs into the other, like kind of like a meet cute, but like the opposite because they're enemies. So they just keep running into each other and like getting on each other's nerves and stuff like that. So there's a lot of banter and jazzy things like that. And this one comes out on May 3rd, and I'm really excited because it is a Berkeley romance. How many times do I have to tell you that I love Berkeley romance books? Like, there's just something about Berkeley that just, it gets me. So this is a Berkeley romance, and so are some of the others that are coming out this month. So very excited about that. This one comes out May 3rd. Okay, next up we have I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Katy McQuiston, and I love, 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 love Red, White, and Royal Blue. That is like one of my all-time favorites. I have her other book, One Last Stop, and I was annotated by my friend Mackenzie, and I haven't read it yet because I haven't finished annotating Red, White, and Royal Blue for her. So her other book is on my list, but it hasn't been read yet either. I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, Red, White, and Royal Blue is like top notch. Nothing will ever top that. One of my absolute favorite books of all time. Nothing can meet that. I don't care who writes it. Red, White, and Royal Blue is top notch. Tell me I'm wrong. So this one, I'm a little bit more like mixed vibes because if you read the synopsis, it kind of gives off Paper Towns vibes by John Green. So like Shara Wheeler kiss like 3 different people, and then like she goes missing the next day and people are like, oh, I want to find her, or like whatever type of thing. So like Paper Towns vibes, but a little bit queer, and Katy McQuiston. So I don't know how I feel about that. Hate me for this, but I did not like John Green. Like, I just don't like his writing. And that's just me. Everybody else loves him. I don't. I didn't like Looking for Alaska. I didn't like The Fault in Our Stars. I didn't like Paper Towns. I didn't like any. I just didn't like it. It was not my vibe. He seems overhyped to me. I can't do it. The movie was good though. I feel like I'm like the one book reader who typically enjoys the movies better than I do the books. Like, if I don't like the book, the movie was good though. So, but anyway, Paper Towns vibes. Don't love that because I don't like Paper Towns, but maybe it's just because I don't really like John Green. So, still kind of high on my list. I'm going to read One Last Stop first and then see where it falls. But this one comes out on May 3rd. It's a YA book. It's queer. It's kind of like the mystery of like where she goes. She disappeared. So that's that. Think about it. Get your hands on it. I'm excited for this one simply because of the title. This one is called If You Change Your Mind by Robby Weber, and just like cue Mamma Mia. If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Please excuse like my horrible, horrible singing, but like just cue Mamma Mia here. Like, if you change your mind, that's Mamma Mia vibes. Mamma Mia vibes. I don't think the book is anything to do with Mamma Mia. I don't think the book is Mamma Mia vibes, but the title is, and that's what drew me in because, as you know, I judge a book on its cover. Should I? No. Do I? Yes. but it is a love triangle, which like is not my favorite trope. I don't like love triangles because then like it's the fear of cheating. Like, is cheating in there? If there's a love triangle, is it cheating or uh, uh. But it's queer joy, which makes me really happy. Like, this book doesn't have anything to do with coming out or anything. The characters just like happen to be queer, and I really like that because as good as coming out books are, I also really just like the books that express queer joy, and like being queer is not like a main plot line. It's just like a part of who they are. And this is that. Queer joy, but not a part of the plot line. Like, I mean, it is a lover's triangle, so it is romance, rom-com, but coming out is not like a big part of the plot. So I'm excited about that. Now we're here, it's all the way, does not come out until May 3rd. So at this point, I don't think I have any of these like truly on my list, simply because May is so far away that I'm not going to put something on my list yet when I don't have all the info, but come like March or April, you're going to start seeing these on my TBR and I'm going to pick them up. And we have another May 3rd book. Half of these books for this month are coming out on May 3rd. This is called The Wedding Season by Katy Birchall. And basically at the beginning, the girl, like her main character, gets stood up at her own wedding. So like fiance calls it off right before her wedding, but now she's stuck going to like everybody else's wedding because it's wedding season and you're at that age where everybody gets married and stuff. I am so scared for that age. None of my friends are getting married right now, and thank goodness, because if they were, I just don't know what I would do. I'm perpetually single, and that's really okay with me because I find romance in books. But weddings terrify me. Anyway, I like the idea of them. Like 27 Dresses was good. I like that. But like generally weddings, I don't know. But this is like a slow burn. It is like a romance, but also kind of like a finding yourself, just a contemporary book. And hello, Checkers. Checkers is behind the camera because I found a different spot to record today. Stop it. And he's messing up with us. So anyway, it is a this entire video is just going to be like cats. You can't lick your butt in the back of my video. So anyway, this one is what I have already said. It is what it is. I don't think I'm going to say anything else about it because Checkers ruined my thought. But The Wedding Season, I don't really know much about it, so that's that. Okay, now we have The Book of Night, and oh, it's just Book of Night, not The Book of Night, just Book of Night, and it is by Holly Black. I love Holly Black. If you read The Cruel Prince, the Folk of the Air series, love her. But this is an adult book. So this is her first adult book. It is not a YA book. So I don't know if I'm going to read it simply because my reading level is not there. I do not think I can read an adult book. But it is a fantasy and I do like that. So it's got like a good premise. It's got a good idea. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to read it because your girl can't read. Am I on Bookstagram? Yes. Can I read? Absolutely not. So that's that. Also, if you are going to choose to read this, I would look up the trigger warnings because there were so many that I was just like, I'm not going to mention all of those in the video because that just seems really depressing. So there's a lot of trigger warnings about this. So it kind of just makes me seem like this book is going to be, I'm a little worried about it, but if you choose to pick it up because you like Holly Black, just be warned, trigger warnings and adultness rather than children. Okay, this one I'm very, very, very excited for because this one is called A Show for Two by Tashie, Bhuiyan. And so the author and was inspired by this book because what had happened was Tom Holland came to her high school when she was a senior in high school undercover. And so that's basically like what this book is about. Like that's like what she took her idea from, is the fact that Tom Holland went to her school undercover. And like, why doesn't he come to my school undercover? I should be a high school teacher just so that then I can have famous people come to my school undercover. I don't really like high schoolers, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But like, how did I miss out on the opportunity to meet Tom Holland? Everybody loves him, but like, you know, it do be what it do be. So this is a hate to love. There's a good amount of representation. The main character is Bangladeshi American, which I think is really cool. And it's got some mental health representation as well. And also, I've heard that there are lots and lots of Taylor Swift references. And like, Tom Holland is meh. Like, wish he would have come to my school, but like, I'll get over that. But like, Taylor Swift? She's a queen. She's a queen. I really like Taylor Swift. She's my jam. I love her. There's a lot of Taylor Swift like little things slipping in there, and that makes me happy. So I do want to read this one, if only for the Taylor Swift representation, like the queen herself. Thank you. Okay, this one y'all are probably not going to like, simply because I'm including this for me and me alone. This is called First Time for Everything by Henry Fry, and the only reason I'm including this is because it looks like it's going to be my new favorite book, because it gives me Catcher in the Rye vibes. And if you read Catcher in the Rye, so many people hate that book simply because Holden is a horrible character. He has so many problems. He's also very depressed, and he just, like, life is never going to get better for him. And that's fine. But I read that book in high school when I was severely depressed and when life, like, wasn't going to get better for me. So, like, I latch on to Catcher in the Rye, and I love it with my whole heart, even though Holden is the absolute worst. And this kind of reminds me of that, but with queer representation instead. So like, the main character is Danny, and Danny just broke up with his boyfriend and is now living like with somebody else, and like his plans are just like gone bad, and now he just kind of has to like find out where he is in life, and he's like all sad and like grumpy about it, basically, is what I seem to understand from this blurb. But it's all about like finding himself and like coming of age, even though I think he's like pretty old. Not like pretty old, but I feel like he's like in his mid-20s or something. I don't know, but it's a coming of age, and it's like finding himself, and like, you know, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I think I'm going to like it because it gives me Catcher in the Rye vibes. Nobody has said that, but I think that it's gonna be that. I also find it very interesting how I give reviews and I give my personal opinion on things that I haven't even read, and I don't claim to have read any of these, but like, I'm like here giving my personal opinion on them, like if I love them or if I hate them, and I know nothing about these books. But First Time for Everything by Henry Fry is a book that I want to read simply just to be depressed. That's that. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. This next one is called Set on You, and this one comes out May 10th, and it is a Berkeley Books romance. I love Berkeley, so we're buying it. Love, 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 love. It is a rom-com, slow burn. It is rivals to lovers, and it's also a grumpy sunshine, and it's all like, it's kind of like set in the gym, and it's like this fitness influencer person, which like couldn't be me. Don't even get up off my couch half the days. But good for her. Good for her. She is a fitness queen and influencer, and like somebody else that she like meets at the gym. So a lot of it happens like at the gym and that kind of vibe. Because the influencer is curvy, so I don't know like like not like thin, but not like plus size. Like I don't know where exactly that falls, but maybe that's some representation. I think that it's going to be interesting to see the take on that throughout the book, but I do really want to read this book. And next up we have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren, and I have mixed reviews about this. I have mixed thoughts because Christina Lauren is like an author that I simultaneously love and hate. Like, The Unhoneymooners is one of my absolute favorites. I love The Unhoneymooners, whereas like The Honey Don't List was like a really, really solid no for me. And then my favorite Half Night Stand was kind of like just in the middle. So like Christina Lauren is like all over the board with like if their writing is good or not. But this is Something Wilder. It's a romance book. It is about like going and finding treasure, which is kind of cool. It's a treasure hunt, and it's a slow burn. I feel like a lot of the books this month are slow burns, and that's not my favorite. It's just not my vibe, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't think that this is going to be the one for me. I think that I'm going to wait for other people to pick it up and let me know if they like it, knowing that I have such split reviews about Christina Lauren in general. Okay, next up we have The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School, and I'm really excited about this one because it's got a lot of representation, and it's got Catholic representation. It has queer lesbian representation, and it also has Mexican representation or Latin American representation, and I'm excited about that. Just like all of that in general, and also like how the author plays religion with being queer, because that's something that typically like doesn't go together. A lot of religious folk are not very accepting of queer people, and I feel like I see that a lot in the media and just like with my personal experience with religion. And so it's going to be interesting to see how going to a Catholic school affects this main character's like coming out and like identity. So I will say it's got some loyal friends, and it's got like bravery and love themes. So it's like a coming of age in addition to coming out, and I really like that. So very interesting. It's a YA book. That's something I can read, and I'm ready for that. This comes out May 17th. And last one for today, we have Together We Burn by Isabel Ibanez, and this one is a young adult fantasy, but there's some romance thrown in, and with that it's like a slow burn romance. It is a mystery adventure theme, and we've got a really strong protagonist too, which makes me really happy. I love to see strong, powerful protagonists. Love, love, love. So for this, I will also say there are dragons, and dragons just get me. I love dragons, like the idea of dragons, like How to Train Your Dragon. That's cute. That's cute. You can't tell me it's not. It's cute. I don't know if the dragons are going to be like cool things that like we're all buddies with, or like bad things that we're going to like fight, but either way, dragons are in this story. And this one comes out on May 31st. So get your hands on it then, because that's when it comes out. And I will say that is all that I have for you today. And like something that I want to note is simply how it's gotten harder to do like the month by month releases as we've gotten further out from January. Right now it's January 2022, and I really struggled with this video for May of 2022 because there aren't very many reviews. There isn't very much information in general, and I know that there are going to be books coming out that haven't been announced yet, and so I feel like this isn't something that fully encapsulates the books. And knowing that there aren't very many reviews and there aren't very many things posted about the book, I feel like I wasn't able to give a full like background and recommendation of whether we're gonna like I'm planning on reading it or whether you should. And so I just want you to take my advice with a grain of salt, especially for this month. And I've decided that rather than doing July, June through December, that I'm going to come back to it part of the way through the year, and I'm going to come back in June and do June through December releases, simply because if I'm struggling to find things for May, finding things for the rest of the year is not going to happen. I know that there are going to be a lot of really good releases, and I'm very excited about that. And as soon as more information comes, I'd be happy to let you know. But for now, you know what I know, and the books you might be excited about are also might be ones that I'm excited about. I'm kind of on the fence. It's too far out for me to for sure say if books are going to be on my TBR or not. But we will see. These are some of the books that are coming out the first half of the year, and if you stayed for all of these, I appreciate you. January, February, March, April, May, that's 5 videos, and also I ramble a lot, so this was quite a lot of content and like listening to do. So if you are here, I appreciate it. And if not, then you're not hearing this, and that's okay. But thank you for sticking around, and there's going to be a lot more fun things to come. Bye!